about this Auburn and Houston game and the couple of bowl games that you want to go around the table, if that's possible, real fast?
Yeah.
I don't want to touch too much on Auburn. Look, I mean, I wouldn't sit here and be lying to you if we said we didn't see this coming. We kind of had an idea. Houston, they only lost 2 games, went to the AAC championship game, played a really good game with Cincinnati, which is playing your Tide Friday. So, we knew that Houston, was a pretty good team. And, buddy, they brung the wood in Birmingham. But, man, that Protective Life Stadium, is that what it's called down in Birmingham?
That's
it looked pretty it looked pretty sexy, didn't it?
Home of the UAB Blazers, man. It'd be cool to maybe go to a UAB game and check out the new stadium next year. I don't know. That you're in Alabama. We might have to set something up, man.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But UAB, if they want me, no offense, to come down there, they're going to have to put up a better fight to my Bulldogs than what was it, a 56-7 whooping. So,
yeah.
maybe who knows? Maybe one day.
I'm gonna let you brought it up, man. But I watched it too. My grandfather and I just were like, we're not leaving to go back home to the lake until this game's over. But the Birmingham Bowl, Houston 17, Auburn 13, the final. I'm gonna actually let you take the lead on this one, man. What'd you see?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Houston I'll be honest with you, I thought coming into this game, actually a lot of people, they thought Houston was going to blow Auburn out. And actually Auburn, seemed like they settled down after Houston went up 7-0. And I think Houston still owned Auburn in the first half, but it looked like Auburn came to play in the second half. But at the end of the day, they say field goals sometimes just can't beat you. But I think at this point in time, I think that Auburn had the points. I think that late touchdown there, about 2 or 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, really cost the Tigers, because that right there seemed to be the nail in the coffin, so to speak, because Auburn couldn't rebound from there.
Yeah, and definitely a key difference too. Both of these teams had a hard time on third down on offense, but Houston kind of had the advantage there. They were 6 of 14 on third downs. They were 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions. Auburn was 1 of 3. I would say, 4 of 15 on third down for Auburn. And, I mean, it was a close game on paper. But would you say, it's pretty accurate on paper how it looked in this game, or would you look at it and say maybe Houston kind of looked a little better, off the scoreboard? Because, I mean, I really think that they kind of brought the heat a little bit on Auburn. Now, Auburn, I mean, they did some things well. I mean, TJ Finley was 19 of 37, 227 yards and a touchdown. What I did notice, I mean, he did have quite a few incompletions. No picks. I mean, Auburn got a pick. I think they got a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken, off the quarterback Clayton Tune for Houston. But, I think TJ Finley had a great game. I mean, he had some moments, though, where he did try to force a throw here or there, and it was just incomplete, and it was a bit too much. Tank Bigsby, their running back, who I think is really, really good. He had 16 carries for 96 yards. He also led the team in receiving, 5 receptions for 68. That was the lead receiver of the game for Auburn was the running back, which that's not the issue. But when it's 5 receptions only for 68 yards, and you have a quarterback that attempted 37, there wasn't really a breakout receiver for Auburn. And also at times, man, there were moments halfway through the game, early on in the game, where it just seemed like they were not catching the football the way they needed to catch the football.
Right, yeah, and then you talked about receivers a while ago. They mentioned a fifth-year guy. Actually, this was his third school due to that transfer portal in D-Rob, which a lot of guys remember them. Demetrius Robertson, he was at California. Didn't do much at Georgia. Yeah, he was at California, then he went to Georgia, and that didn't work out. So now he's trying to regroup himself, and he went to Auburn. He was a senior. That was his last game, so not the game that he wanted. I don't think he's actually had the last 5 years he's wanted, in my opinion. But, he was a highly talented recruit. And shout out to Jake Fromm's little brother, Tyler Fromm, the tight end. He had the long hair. I did not know that he was Jake Fromm's little brother until I actually looked that up. And because I'm like, Fromm, wait a second, F-R-O-M-M.
He's from Warner Robins, right?
Yeah.
He's from Warner Robins, just like Jake is.
Absolutely. And he went to school there too. So that was really cool. And anyway, so Tyler Fromm, he tried to get in the rhythm. Never really worked out for him either. I think at the end of the day, Houston was just so much better. That first half, a lot better. Second half, I think Auburn closed the gap. But at the end of the day, they still couldn't stop Houston from scoring. And that's what ultimately gave the win to Houston.
Like I said, too, I mean, it was one of those where Houston got off to a hot start overall against Auburn in this game to begin with. And Auburn at halftime, I mean, of course, you have the interviews, and coaches always say we just got to make some adjustments and we'll be okay. And they made the right adjustments, but I don't think they did enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did some things right. They picked it up. They were able to get off the field on third down in the second half at times. They outscored Houston. It was 7-0 at the end of the first. They each got a field goal. Okay, Houston's going to go up 13-3 at halftime. Scoreless third quarter for the Cougars. Auburn outscores them, though. They get 10 on the board. It's like, all right, okay, cool, right. So they take a lead. It's 13-10. But then they give up the touchdown late in the game, and Houston's able to see. You got to understand that too. Houston went up late in the game with like 3.5 left to play. They go up. Auburn's got a chance to go down and score. The pressure's on them just a little bit. They just can't get it. They can't get it done. They don't get the fourth down conversion. So it was one of those where, outside of the score, I really do think Auburn did some things okay. They just didn't. They were not able to close the game out the way they needed to get the win.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, there's a bowl game going on. So if you are listening to us, it's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. West Virginia and Minnesota is scoreless with about 8 minutes to go in the first. So I don't know if we will keep you posted as the game goes along, but we hope you continue to tune in.